It's 7 a.m. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Chris, you here?
Yes.
We're done talking now.
Here.
We're done.
Amy Grantham?
Here.
Nancy Hopper? Katie Jess?
Here.
John Prouty?
Here.
Melissa Smith?
Present. Could you all please stand and join me in the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, you have in front of you the previous minutes for May 2nd and June 6th. 6/6, right? Yes. Contact's all wonky. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Amy Grantham?
Aye.
Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jess?
Aye.
John Prouty?
Aye.
Melissa Smith?
Aye. Next, we have the agenda. We have an added table file. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Amy Grantham?
Aye.
Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jess?
Aye.
John Prouty?
Aye.
Melissa Smith?
Aye. Next, we have special presentation. This is all about Ms. Tony Miller.
Tony show.
So there's just a few changes from the budget that I presented at the last meeting. We are moving from an original balance increase in the general fund of $46,000 to $12,844. Those things that came up with those differences are, I did some research and consulted with our auditor as far as, Randy just worked this year, but we're paying him out over 3. We accrue that salary into this year because that is when he actually did the work. So that was a decrease in the expense for salaries for him that I had put into the budget for next year. There were some changes in benefits amounts. Also, one of the biggest things is looking at the ESSER funds. We need to pull some of those back into this current year because of some grant funding that needs to come into this year. So that decreased the revenue by about $488,000. And so because of that, I had to decrease some budgeted amounts for purchase services. And also, something I had neglected was with the new bond issue, we pulled all of the capital lease amounts into that bond fund, and so we aren't paying interest out of general fund. So that decreased expenses by $165,000. So all in all, we had a difference of about $33,000 for the general fund balance. Also, a difference, if you look on the bottom, let's see, which page is that on? There it is. On page 3 at the top, we have to allocate amounts for the general fund reserves for things that have to be paid. And one of those things was the multi-year contract. I had neglected to put that in there, and Rob pointed that out for me. What that is the contracts for the new superintendent and Randy that are set in stone. So that's going to be Randy's salary and the new super's salary, benefits, and para. All of Randy's para and Medicare were paid this year, so there's none of that residual coming up in the coming years. Let's see. If we move to the mill levy page, which is page 7, I also did some research on this. You don't budget to increase the fund balance for mill levy. You plan to spend it all out. I was not aware of that, and I did some research in previous years. So what I did was just move it all up into the project list, because technically you move it, it's supposed to just be spent out in the year. It never actually gets all spent, but it is supposed to be budgeted in that way. And then, let's see, our bond redemption fund. Is page 16. And again, I had neglected to put the capital lease payments that are coming out of the bond into this fund, so I just adjusted those amounts for the coming year for all of that principal and interest for those leases that are being taken care of out of the bond fund. And other than that, there were no other changes to the budget from the previous one that I submitted. Do you have any questions?
No?
Okay, that's the end of my lengthy presentation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It sounds like you've been learning so much.
I have learned an incredible amount, and thanks to Randy, I have some incredible sources that I can consult with, and our audit firm is really a good source for me as well. And so I
Nice.
need to take a few more classes, but that's on the agenda for the summer, so.
Good. Good. Thank you. Next, we have the consent agenda. We have the personnel action report. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Amy Grantham?
Aye.
Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jess?
Aye.
John Proudy?
Aye.
Melissa Smits?
Aye. Next, we move into the action items. Action item A is the 2021-22 supplemental budget. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Amy Grantham?
Aye.
Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jess?
Aye.
John Proudy?
Aye.
Melissa Smits?
Aye. Action item B, appropriating resolution to adopt the 2022-2023 budget. Pleasure of the board.
Move to approve.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Amy Grantham?
Aye.
Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jess?
Aye.
John Proudy?
Aye.
Melissa Smits?
Aye. Action item C, resolution to approve spending the funds from the beginning fund balance. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Amy Grantham?
Aye.
Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jess?
Aye.
John Proudy?
Aye.
Melissa Smits?
Aye. Action item D, 2022-23 school handbooks and course description and planning guide for Lincoln High School. Pleasure of the board.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Amy Grantham?
Aye.
Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jess?
Aye.
John Proudy?
Aye.
Melissa Smits?
Aye. Action item E, 2022-23 price increase for school meals. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? I have a question. Didn't they just pass Colorado law where they're going to pay for it?
No, actually, what passed is going on the November ballot. So it has to be a ballot issue in order to approve. So the legislature actually approved it to put it on the ballot.
Gotcha.
And so she looked at where we were at, so we're raising it a little bit, but we're still below even the neighboring schools. And my best advice to her is we just got to make sure we operate in the black. We can't, as a school district, want to get into supplementing the budget, but we're still lower, which will help ease the pain, because I think that will be an issue next year, you know. And there's going to be stuff that's going to be done this summer, whether it boosts and whatnot, to remind parents, you know, this is what's going on, and to get, because our free and reduced has gone from 75 to 80% down to like 60%. So we need to get that, because that helps our grants and everything else as well.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Amy Grantham?
Aye.
Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jess?
Aye.
John Proudy?
Aye.
Melissa Smits?
Aye. Action item F, 2022-23 professional technical salary schedule additions. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? This is the last of the salary schedules, right? Like,
Well, do you know what happened?
Yeah, you just put them, well, no, I think what happened, we didn't add another salary schedule. We had two people that were not on a salary schedule, so we placed them on it. So
Oh, okay.
that's where last time. So now it is basically just the superintendent and assistant superintendent that's not on a salary schedule. Now everybody is, because there was some stuff to where you go back in history where people were not really placed. They were just, oh, here's an amount, just do this. And it's caused a couple of issues, but we're able to place them now. So now, hopefully from this point on, whatever you do to the base and steps, then it's a given,
Wonderful.
with the exception of those two.
Good, good. What's the pleasure, or, sorry. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Amy Grantham?
Aye.
Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jess?
Aye.
John Proudy?
Aye.
Melissa Smits?
Aye. And last, action item G, Colorado Department of Education IDEA funding eligibility certification for the 2022-2023 school year. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
The only thing that I would say on that is Jaylen's already making her presence felt. This is something that should have been done earlier, and she's been working, even though she doesn't officially start till July 1st. She discovered this, and I hate to have anything late come to the board. That's just, I don't like that, but it had to be approved by July 1st, and it could make a big difference. So kudos to Jaylen for finding that.
Yes.
Yeah, the $5 million is just a small amount of dollars. Just, yeah, chump change.
Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Amy Grantham?
Aye.
Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jess?
Aye.
John Proudy?
Aye.
Melissa Smits?
Aye. Next is special presentation by me. This way. And this is because it's someone's last day. I don't know who. And since we don't, not to say to no one, but there's really not many people out here, I will face this way. And I just want to say that we as a board
Wow.
very much appreciate everything that you've
Holy
done
crap,
for
that's
us.
huge.
Oh, careful, careful. Yep, there you go.
The two parts.
So we wanted to present you with a little Mustang to remember Fort Morgan. And there's also a plaque that says, Dr. Randy Miller, Superintendent of Schools, 2021-2022. With appreciation and gratitude for your time with Morgan County School District RE3, through your unfaltering service, dedication, wisdom, contributions, and in recognition of your commitment and lasting impact with the students, staff, administration, and Board of Education of Morgan County School District RE3. Thank you for your commitment required to achieve excellence and success. We wish you the very best in your retirement.
Thank you very, very much. That's incredible. That's
Thank
huge.
you.
I expect to
nice.
see a picture of that with you on the beach with that.
On the beach,
Yeah,
well,
take
you know,
it
maybe I
with
can
that.
do
Take it everywhere you go.
You probably better just stand in front of the thing and get a
I can
picture.
do it at
Right.
DIA in front of where I'm going. Yeah, with that picture would be a good
Dr.
place.
Miller,
yeah.
you want to make sure that it's an appropriate picture.
Even when you're retired, you have to be
Well, he
appropriate.
isn't working.
Say it doesn't.
And here's for me, so when you can take with you. You'll laugh.
Yeah, see, I put on about 5 pounds this year, thanks to the young lady over there.
She's taking care of it.
Oh, my goodness, yeah, so I'm
Only
good
5, it's
Might
okay.
melt a little too much.
to have that, so, no. Thank you guys very much. I tell you what, it's been a pleasure. I think that hopefully there's 4 people that I met with in, I think, May or June of last year. I hope I came as advertised, and that, no issues with that. But it's been a pleasure. And so you will actually get a board update, believe it or not, by the end of the day. And what I'm going to put on that is, actually, there will be an attachment with all of my superintendent notes that I left for Rob. And a lot of it may not make sense. It'll just be this. But, I joke about, everybody's got my phone number. And I've said this, no matter what place I leave, I'm retiring, but my phone number is always available. So if you just said, what the heck did you mean by this? Or what is about that? Because I think it was probably, 12 or 13 years after I left Wiggins, I got a call from I think it was an old board member, said, when we did that cash in lieu of thing here, what really went on? And so, trust me, I'm always available. You might have to worry about whether it be beach sounds or cattle sounds in the background when you're talking to me. But again, thank you guys. I've appreciated it. It's been a good year. I think that a lot of the, and I call them myths about Fort Morgan, hopefully it's been taken away a little bit. A great place to work. And I think hopefully we're seeing it, and hopefully with some of the salary stuff. Last time I talked to Clint, he's only down one person now as far as hiring, unless that changed today or so. And I think even if you were to talk to Tara, same thing. So everybody I've worked with, it's been great. So thank you guys. It's been a pleasure.
When you came in, we asked you just to keep the boat steady, and you had some rough waters, especially to start, but you definitely did that and more, so.
Yeah, and I'd like to take a lot of credit, but we've done a great job of hiring. And I look at that, and we even look at the
Yes.
central office. We talked about that. It's a good place now.
Very good.
Good.
Thank you very much. So advanced planning, Board of Education meetings during summer, July 18th and August 15th. Except we do also have that very important work session on July 11th, but I'll get you guys more details on that after I talk to Rob, once he gets back from zip lining in the rainforest.
Seriously, why did you hold your phone and not drop it? And
I know. The first day of the 2022-2023 school year is Wednesday, August 17th, 2022. And unless there's anything else to come before the board, we are adjourned.
there's cake if anybody wants cake at 7:15 in the morning.